Hello, hello. Welcome to my Lunch and Learn, where each and every week we explore topics to elevate your mindset, radically expand your life, and just create absolute magic for you. Today's topic, what we're looking at, is how to break the loop when talking about your problems, right? We talk about these problems, yet talking and talking and talking about them keeps us stuck. So if you're a high achieving woman who's into personal growth and development, maybe you've talked about the same problem over and over and over again, desperately seeking a solution. Maybe you've seen a therapist, you've talked to your mom, your mastermind group, your journal, your dog, who knows? Yet this problem, no matter how many solutions you seek and how many people you try to talk it through with, it doesn't change. If you've done that, this is for you. But before we dive in, let me know in the chat, where are you tuning in from? And if you're watching by replay, type in replay in the chat. If it's your first time here, type in first time in the chat, because my team and I, we want to welcome you. And we are so thankful that you are here. Now, I know some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Larisa McCooch, Canada's leading abundance mentor, and I work with professional, driven women who already have success in their lives, but deep down, they know they're meant for more. They're meant for more fulfillment. They want more peace. They want more expansion, and they want to build more without more hustle. So when it comes to today's topic, I just want to set the stage a little bit. It's really dear and true to my heart because many years ago, when I first got into the world of personal growth and development, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a godsend. And I was finally able to find something where they gave me hope for my future. And they said, problems are when you have problems, they're a good thing because there's always a solution. So instead of being problem focused, go and focus on the solution. So I was like, okay, I have a lot of problems. Yes, I've got so much stuff I can work on. And so I went out trying to find solutions to my problems. I went out to try to find the learnings I needed to learn so that I can let my problems disappear. But here's the thing. I started doing the work. I would journal left, right, and center. I would ask people questions. I talked all these things through. I would vent about the same problems. And what ended up happening is they were like, talk things through, let your emotions out, go ahead, journal, vent. I did that. But what ended up happening is I kept reinforcing the same problems over and over and over and over and over again. And even though I thought I was looking for a solution, instead what was happening was I was reinstalling the actual story. I was reinstalling some of those bad memories. I was reinstalling some of that old programming. And it wasn't until I really started to learn how to work with the unconscious mind. So many years into my personal growth journey, I heard people talk about these things, but I didn't know the nuances of how to apply them to myself and how to get these real internal shifts. They talked about these blueprints, and it wasn't until I got trained to really look at what a blueprint was that I could actually figure out what was happening within me. And so now that I have tools that I can actually use, I have people that I can go to. I have certain ways of asking the questions when I have problems and I'm seeking solutions to actually get to the point of solution. And what that's helped me do is live with more alignment, live with more peace, and really start to feel like I'm making progress and not over analyzing everything, just staying stuck on that hamster wheel. So let's take a look at a few key terms. Complaint train. I don't know if you've ever been on it. Have you ever been on a complaint train where you're in this pattern of rehashing the same issues and you call it processing, but really you're reinforcing the problem without a solution, right? You're on the complaint train with your mama, you're on the complaint train with your aunt, you're on the complaint train with 3, 4, 5 of your friends and your sister and your brother and everyone else in between. So things go wrong and you just go over the same thing. You tell the same story over and over and over again. And once you've gotten off the complaint train, it's really hard to listen to other people on it. You kind of want to put you want to put earmuffs on there. So emotional blueprint, this is another big term. So emotional blueprint these are the unconscious patterns that are running in the background of your mind and of your body, and they dictate how you react and how you respond. And essentially, they create your reality. And we are very emotionally driven, but these emotions and these circumstances that happen around us create a certain way that your brain processes them based on what you see, what you hear, what you feel, that leads to an internal experience and also an emotional experience. And then obviously that is what leads to the behavior. There's like a big sequence of events that happens inside your mind, inside your body, and they both work together to actually lead you to make those automatic choices, to automatically grab for the glass of water or the glass of wine, to automatically have you go, I'm going to go for a walk around the block and walk out the door, or walk to the fridge to find a cookie or a brownie or something like that. Okay, so the emotions, there's like a sequence of things, and they happen really, really fast that you don't necessarily see. You can't see it very quickly unless you're aware of these things, because they're out of your conscious awareness. And then reinforcement loop. Okay, reinforcement loop. So this is a neural feedback loop that gets strengthened every time you repeat a thought, a story, or emotion, especially out loud. As soon as you might have it in your mind and it's powerful, but as soon as it comes out of your mouth, there's so much stuff that comes out of your mouth. If you really listen to what you were saying, you would probably be amazed at what comes out of your mouth. If you really start listening to what other people are saying, you will be amazed at what comes out of their mouths. But when it comes out, this is it's almost like if you had a flat sheet of wood and you decided to start carving out a design or carving out a pattern. And the first time you might just carve out a teeny tiny little sliver of that wood, but as you keep taking that same path, that groove gets deeper and bigger. And that's what a reinforcement loop does. Every time you do the same activity, every time you say the same thing, every time you have the same feeling, or every time you have that same experience, you are reinforcing it. Okay, so you can reinforce it in your mind and in the mind's eye and through your imagination, which is strong. But as soon as it happens out loud, physically, it gets even stronger when it's physically expressed. Okay, so both are powerful though. Now, when it comes to brain science, neuroscience shows us that the brain is plastic, meaning it rewires itself based on repetition. So just because you were one way at one phase of life does not mean that's where you're going to be at for the rest of your life. And that doesn't mean that's your reality. You can rewire your brain, and you can keep rewiring your brain and shifting how it processes and the experiences it has right through to the older years, into your 80s and 90s and beyond. So when it comes to you, maybe you're venting to your boss or your coworker, or you're rehashing a breakup and you had just a not such an amazing emotional experience, or you obsess over what's wrong. Maybe you're stressed at work, or you're stressed with your kids, and you just don't know how to focus on anything else. And so you talk about it, you focus on it, you think about it, you worry what else could go wrong with it. Every time you do that, you're reinforcing this neural network that holds your problems in place. Okay. So it's kind of like a hiking trail. The more you walk it, the deeper the path becomes, and the harder it is to step off. Okay. So harder it is to step off. So Joe Dispenza, he's done some studies, and there's others that have done studies in the neuroplasticity space. And the thought emotion loop actually becomes biochemically addictive. Okay, so you're not just telling a story, you're actually chemically addicted to the emotional state you're attached to. So really pay attention to that. You, based on the things you do, the things you say, especially repeatedly, you start to become addicted to those feelings and those emotions, and the behaviors that are essentially being created from them. So we don't really think about these things. We don't even notice these things, but they happen in the background, and we're like, oh, I have no problems. Oh, nothing's wrong. But if you're not feeling good, something is not working for you. So what do you need to know? Here's the hard truth. Talking about your problem isn't the same as solving it. Okay. Instead, what happens is it keeps you stuck in the loop. Why does that happen? Okay. One, You're activating the pattern, not dismantling it, because every time you talk about it, those same neurons fire, and neurons that fire together wire together. You reactivate those same feelings, and your body relives that experience. Even if it happened years ago, your body cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's remembered. Second, you are dissociating from the root. So what you think is the problem is not actually the problem. You might be like, oh, I'm always stressed at work. But what might really be happening is you're afraid of not being good enough. Maybe you believe that you're not allowed to say no. Maybe you have an identity rooted in over giving, and you're always like other people focused. Let's push, push, push out instead of getting or receiving or being willing to take something back within you, because that's powerful. When you accept, that's a powerful thing. And many of us are such givers that we become martyrs in our own lives, essentially. And so talking helps the surface problem, but it doesn't excavate the root. You've got to go many layers deep. In most cases, it's 3 to 5 and sometimes 10 or even 20 layers deep, depending on how creative, we're going to say creative, the person and that person's unconscious mind is. I've worked with many kinds of clients. Now, the third thing that happens, okay, number 3, you are strengthening an identity that you want to shed. So you might be, anytime you say the words I am, this is an identity, and you might be saying it just in passing, or because you're used to saying it, or other people say it. You're like, I'm just an anxious person. Cancel that. You want to just say, no way, I'm not. I always self-sabotage. You might just say these things in passing so other people don't feel bad. Stop saying this stuff. I just can't seem to break the pattern. Stop saying that, because you're literally affirming and installing those things into your mind and the identity that comes along with it. And this identity starts to become your default setting, whether you like it or not. Anything that follows I am better be a positive and freaking amazing statement about yourself, or at least a neutral one. Nothing that's going to potentially sabotage you. And then the fourth thing, mixed up with my fingers, fourth thing, you're getting connection, not resolution. So let's be honest. We are creatures that need connection. And so often when we might talk to 5 or 10 people about our problems, we're just looking for some kind of soothing. We just want a hug. My son, he loves coming up to me, especially at night. Sometimes I might be reading or doing something, and he's like, Mama, you need to put that down right now. I need cuddles. He needs cuddles. He needs soothing. Okay. And so he's come to recognize that. But so often we need some kind of soothing. We might just want someone to listen to us or be with us. It's not even the problem itself that we're looking to solve. We think we are, but we just want someone to tell us they love us. We want someone to be there for us. We want someone to help us know it's safe to be in our world. And when you're in this soothing when this soothing mechanism of complaining becomes your cycle, you end up staying in survival mode, because you're not really creating momentum. You're not being powerful or empowered. You just start to fall back. So just to sum this up, talking can help bring awareness, but awareness does not equal change. You need to go deeper to the blueprint underneath the problem. And real change actually happens when you work with your unconscious mind to release the emotional charge, to rewrite the patterns, and step into your new identity. So you're probably thinking, great, thanks for telling us. Now, what actually works? You've got to interrupt the loop. Okay, you have to interrupt the loop. You need to release the stored emotional energy. You need to clear those underlying limiting beliefs. You need to rewire your identity blueprint that's creating the pattern and step into the version that's free, that's grounded, and that's aligned. And you can do this on your own, and it can take time. There are many ways to do this. How do you release emotional energy? You can do it through body work. You can do it through journaling. There's different dance forms, somatic healing. We use processes in our emotional cleanup and breakthrough that help you connect to the conscious and unconscious mind. We call it timeline therapy, to literally overcome the negative emotions of anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, rage, and shame, dramas and traumas in a healthy, constructive way, 5 to 15 minutes per emotion. And it's very quick, and it just cleanses the emotional palette. So there's many different ways to do it. They're generally more artistic or physically related, or something cognitive. The other thing, clear underlying limiting beliefs. Again, many ways to do it. We have do-it-yourself methods. I teach several different methods to my clients and in my workshops, where you can find an old belief, rewrite it to a new belief. We realize that doesn't actually take it to the next level. You got to create a decision. If you want some of our resources on limiting beliefs, just write limiting belief in the chat, and we'll send you some previous episodes that explain more about that. Because so often people are like, in many recommended resources, they say just find an old belief, rewrite it to the new belief, say the new belief 1,000 times. But if you're lying to yourself, it's going to take a really long time. So we add a layer of adding a decision to it. And there's a specific way to do that, so it's actually effective. You want to rewire the identity blueprint that's creating a limiting pattern. So when you're trying to rewire a blueprint, you have to know what the blueprint is. So what is triggering the response? What's happening inside your head? What kind of images or movie scripts are you playing? And what is the emotional response? That's essentially the framework of the pattern. This is a tricky one to do on your own very quickly. You can do it on your own over a long period of time, but this one I find is really helpful to go to other people too. Okay, I'm a trainer. I know how to do this. I know how to catch it, but the unconscious mind thinks faster than the conscious mind can process. So it starts to trick you very, very quickly. So I often go to a colleague or a friend that's trained and can help diagnose things, and a simple constructive conversation or a breakthrough session clears it up and helps come to resolution. So they find the pattern, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this was running. I had no idea. And I do this work, but I can't see it because my unconscious mind tricks me. And stepping into the version of you that's free, that's grounded, that's aligned. You need to know who your best self is. You need to know how you can start stepping into that place one day, one step at a time. We do a lot of self-image work here at the Abundance Academy. We, in fact, just started a self-image intensive. And so this is a powerful way to be. If you're looking for a fast track solution, so all of these things you can do on your own for the most part. It's going to take you a while, but if you're looking for a fast track solution, these are the kinds of things that we take care of and that we deal with in our breakthrough sessions and in our emotional cleanup sessions. And so the emotional cleanup it's a series of 3 breakthrough sessions for high achieving women that know they're meant for more. They want to break through these emotional blocks rapidly. Okay, this isn't like 12 years of therapy. This is like 3 really pack the punch sessions. Maybe you're preparing for a shift for the fall, a new season, new goals, new levels, and maybe you're just introspecting and reflecting on life, and you're like, I just need to like clear a few things out while summer is here before things ramp up for the rest of the year. And if you've just had that internal clutter and you want to just clear it out, this is a perfect thing for you. This is not therapy. This is not just surface level mindset work. It's deep, it's fast, it's aligned. And so if you're curious and you want to learn more about the emotional cleanup process to see if it's right for you, if you're looking for that quick fix solution to give you more emotional breathing room, I am happy to hop on a quick call with you. My team and I can have that discussion to see if it's even the right fit for you. If it's not something that we think we can help you with, we're not going to go ahead with it, because we get great results, and we want to make sure you are getting the right kind of thing for the results you're looking for. So if this is something you're looking for, just write emotional cleanup in the chat, and my team or I will get more information to you, and we can book a call, no obligation. We need to make sure it's a good fit for you and for your situation, and we can talk more about it. But essentially, you can't plant a new garden that's in a soil full of weeds. This is you need to keep plucking. You need to keep clearing the weeds that are in your world so you can free yourself for that beautiful future. And so if you keep patching that same leaky pipe, right, it's like it's time to replace the plumbing. That's exactly what this does. So if you're ready to do that, if you're ready for your next level of success, then mention emotional cleanup in the chat and we will connect and share more. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with me today. Until next time, stay abundant, stay aligned, and stop talking about it.